of state and local government are all compromised. Hopefully, this year's theme, which in my opinion has been well thought out by the planning committee, will galvanize ideas that will aid putting our country on the right foot. I therefore look forward to the communique that will be issued from this annual law week, which I strongly believe will be of great importance to the key stakeholders of our nation, notably the federal, states, and local governments, as law is undoubtedly a tool for economic advancement and the nation's national security. In closing, let me thank the planning committee of the 2024 annual law week for a job well done. Wishing all participants an enlightening deliberation.
May we please put our hands together louder. The Lord Honorable CJ, wonderful, precise, brief, but to the point. The hands can clap louder, please. Thank you very much. Our dear Governor Godwin, Paseki, here represented by the Benin Attorney General, and the Honorable Commissioner for Justice and the State and please make welcome Uluwole Usase, who see to do the work of the government. Is that all correct?
How easy, how quick do you resolve disputes? And for most investors, they are very worried to resolve. Averaging 10 years, 12, 15 years by the time it comes to Court of Appeal and Supreme Court. That is a major set to investors. Our rule is to arise. So,
we are very sorry. We have with us, beloved, all the way from Mobolaji Ajibara.
Please put your hands together for him.
Beloved, at this point, with your kind permission, the program is in front of us. I seek your direction to take on the next bit of the program, the opening ceremony, usually accompanied with the special ceremony session after the declaration to open the Thank you. We are very sorry, please. My Lord, the Honorable CJ, the Executive Governor, please. We are very sorry. A bit of mix-up there. We are very sorry, please. We are very sorry. Can you let them to the General to you from your very revered seat? Please, we are sorry. Now, there is a clearer vision of the direction of the program. This opening session is properly and ably chaired.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, here ably represented by my Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge of Edo State, and all the other judges of Edo State here present. The Attorney General of Edo State, in your own capacity as the leader of the tribe. My learned brother says, called me this morning that he was stuck at the airport. He said he tried to him, and when the MC was introducing me, the only capacity I know is that it's my learned brother said. When he called me, I quickly told him about one of my friends who has a private jet. That when he almost missed an occasion, he had to call back his private jet. Brain drain, as more and more of our professionals, cream de la cream, leave the country in droves on a daily basis in a kind of 21st century exodus. An upsurge of endemic and systemic corruption and criminality in high and low places. How has the tool of law been wielded so far by the political and legal workmen to administer some repair to the situation and to bring about some solution? The legal cast playing on the stage of the economy and security, together with their indices and coordinates of our national life, include the Constitution, legislations, case laws, the three arms of government, economic and security experts, law enforcement agencies and the bar, etc. These have two roles to play in the whole process. It is against the above background that we shall examine the application of law as a tool for economic advancement and national security. Some definitions by other people, including our own Professor Batutomi. In that tradition, Professor Batutomi, a renowned Nigerian political economist, on the concept of economic growth, has often emphasized the importance of shifting Nigeria's economy His definition is primarily in terms of power and the survival of the state. According to Derry and Popola, two Nigerian legal scholars, the term national security is an amalgam of two words, namely national and security. National, according to Black's dictionary, is an adjective describing a state or relating to a nation, while security describes the state of being secure, especially from attack or danger. Put together, national security means the state and process of ensuring that a nation or a state is secure or free from attack or danger from internal conditions. It is not within the purview of our discourse to examine some key aspects of the constitutional provisions as touching economic growth and national security. The fundamental objectives. Chapter 2 of the Constitution makes elaborate provisions on the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy. For our probing purposes on sections 14 and 16 thereof, with section 16, while section 16 outlines in extenso the economic objectives, we can only claim the objectives from the broad overarching context of the chapter. Section 14 of the Constitution on Security. Section 14 of the Constitution on Security reads, the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on the principles of democracy and social justice. 2. It is hereby accordingly declared that the security place principles that underline and form the substratum of security in every democratic system of administration. Except for other constitutional provisions empowering the establishment of certain bodies to primarily execute national security, it is regrettable that the provisions of Chapter 2 of the Constitution like a big bulldog which possessing only gum and no teeth, are illicit in themselves, non-justiciable, and thus unenforceable. Provisions for civil crisis. It is known that in most third world countries, like Nigeria, Assembly can legislate on all other aspects to legislate for the peace, order, and good governance of the country or state or any part thereof, respectively. It is in respect of the aforementioned provision that the Nigerian Police Force has a law enacted for its creation, operations, as well as the armed forces sequel to the power of the National Assembly to legislate for peace. That the economic system is not operated in such a manner as to prevent the concentration of wealth or the means of production and exchange in the hand of few individuals or groups, and pensions and unemployment, sick benefits and welfare of the disabled are provided for all these economic policies. Worse still, the petroleum industry, which is the major sector of the country's economic activities, has been managed in such a way that the people who own the land from which the petroleum resources are exploited are neglected with their land and rivers, are neglected when their land and rivers are exposed to constant pollution and their means of livelihood threat extinguished. No doubt, economic balance has led to insecurity in Nigeria and illustrates how a failure to implement a just and fair economic policy can translate to national insecurity. Legislations leaves us with an innumerable amount and volume of enactments or statutes in the form of acts of the National Assembly, members of their own amenities needed for their operations to thrive. Recently, the CBN released the circular on implementation guidance on the collection and allegedly based on Section 44 of the Cyber Security Act. This came under litigation, under the litigious challenge by the incorporated trustees of the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project in court as constituting an unconstitutional taxation move. Global competence and competitiveness, multifaceted implications for the participation of sovereign states on the global dinner table of Committee of Nations. While the interests of sovereign states in foreign policy must take the front burner and be given priority place, legislations must take into account global practices in the realms of economic growth and national security. While legislations must be autonomous, homegrown, and organic, directly reflecting the of forces displaying in overarching global big pictures in the area of economy and security. For instance, this calls for serious upgrade of legislative competence and expertise on the part of our legislators to be able to meet global standards. Just allocation and distribution of our commonwealth. If not for corruption, through a strong political goodwill on the part of our leaders, fiscal legislation and only extension where expedient and done by judicious exercise of discretion. Disobedience of court orders. The Constitution provides for the enforceability nowadays for litigants to flout orders made by the courts. We observe that this state of event dulls the edge of effectiveness of case law as a tool for economic growth and national security. This certainly aggravated the incidence of self-help and abusive extrajudicial measures in settling disputes. We submit that this certainly advancement and compromise national security. The role of the bar. The role of the bar in the whole monopoly of economic growth and advance uphold the oath of allegiance to uphold the Constitution and professional tremendous progress and improvement shall become low-hanging fruits on the trees of economic growth and rust. shall continue. However, concerning the role of some members of the bank,
Thank you very much. You can do better than that. I was thanking all of them. Around the bar. Let me thank, though they are not here at the moment, but I want to thank them because they supported us heavily. Our past president, Olu Akpata, Dr. Aswe Ugalo, the quintessential barman, Osarbioke, and then the one I call the city, Otumba, Laiwala, for supporting the law week with you very much. Let me, just am I on course? Okay, I should continue. Let me thank you, just even though my Lord the CJ had already thanked you, because by the time you and everyone spoke this morning, then we spoke, we got the soft copy, and then I sent you the soft copy, and you said you could not even, we had to go and print, and then we just got you the thank you. Thank you, my Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Mark everyone. Thank you.
Please, may we all rise, please. The Lord, the Honorable CJ, the noble Lords, we are very grateful. Thank you very much for this opening ceremony. We thank the Lord, the Honorable CJ, the noble Lords, for obliging us of intellectuality, knowledge, and wit. Thank you. May we be seated, please, for the second session. At about now, the next 5 or so minutes, you are free to fairly seated. But the second session is starting nearly after now. So you may be seated, you may pick a bottle of water, etc. Thank you.
As a chief, okay. He was also very much a distinguished lawyer, and he's also here not just as a legislator and the majority leader who conducts the business of the House of Assembly. And he's being here strategically because he's also chairman of the Law Reform Commission. And we talk about we cannot talk of issues of APIs without necessity for law reform. So I'm sure you're aware several hats here. Another former chairman of the Law Reform Commission, former Attorney General, former this, former that, and a very astute lawyer, Mr. Wole Yankwe, immediate predecessor in office, a very distinguished lawyer. And in his time, he did a lot, and those things attracted a lot of foreign investment, foreign direct investments. And both as Solicitor General and both
foreign investments like water flows to areas of least resistance and greatest acceptability. So, Honorable Attorney General, we will see where we are. But please let me go back to protocols. Honorable Attorney General, but let me first apologize profusely for not being with you in Benin at this time physically. I had planned to, but my new life as a politician hardly that. So I sincerely apologize. And that's why I begged the organizers that we should please have a reading electronic virtual mechanism by which I can reach you all. Again, please accept my apology, because I truly wanted to be there so we could debate this topic and discuss it in person. Let me commend the Benin Bar and the executive and the organizing committee for the choice of theme this topic. And for this specific topic, assure me, given not just my career in corporate law, but also my one-time role as the past chairman of the MBA section of business law, tenure at the SBA.
Recording in progress.
To move this figure and move this needle substantially for us to enhance the development of the state. In these times of economic uncertainty and challenges, I have built significant corporate experience, advice on transactions, whereby foreign capital was raised for internal investments and projects. I have also served as director of the Nigerian News, and we completed the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. These experiences have equipped me with a deep insight into how strategic investment, especially FDI, can drive economic growth, increase multiplier value additions, and enhance infrastructure development. Here at home in Edo State, I Adam Soshomali's economic team, and in the last 7 years, I served as the chairman of the board of directors of the Latin Economic Summit. Billions of dollars in investments spanning various sectors, including agriculture, manufacturing. Bear with me, because I need to set context. The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, describes FDI as an investment involving a long-term relationship and reflecting a lasting interest and control by a resident in one economy, in an enterprise resident in another economy. FDI involves long-term investments by entities from one country into businesses in another, establishing a lasting relationship and influence. Uganda leverages investments in natural resources, and we haven't done this in Edo State, and we will do it. Uganda leverages investments in natural resources, which resulted in significant job creation and high GDP percent. It grew by over 15%. Our plan is to have enormous global tourism investment potential. On the diaspora side, Edo State boasts a significant investment made from promote skill development. To maximize the benefits of foreign direct investment, we need a skilled and adaptable workforce. Our administration will continue to invest in education and vocational training programs that align with the needs of modern industry. The rule of law and the role of legal practitioners in attracting FDIs. A key factor in attracting FDI. Investors all over the world seem to go to a bank where their investments are protected by transparent and predictable legal relations to states will not exist in our state, and we will work with the federal government to stay stable on policies. Finally, the journey towards a prosperous Edo State lies in embracing foreign direct investment as a sure way to economic stability by guaranteeing investment stability. opportunity. My lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for listening to me so patiently. And again, I sincerely apologize for not being there physically. God bless this state. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're not physically here with us.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I can't hear you all. I hope you heard me.
Yes, we heard
But I
you.
can't hear you at this point.
Oh, so sorry. We did hear you. Can you hear us now? Okay. I think we heard 90 or 95% of what Nicholas Begdado did say. Admittedly, it freed once or twice. I hope people are also trying to get. We don't have it. I think I want to. But our guy here has offered to give us a hard copy to share. But all those who have left their email addresses, I have some copies for us. And basically, it took us through, starting from the conceptual basis on which we are discussing this matter. What finance gives us an introduction to advanced technology. It helps our productivity, and there's lots in terms of purpose. And he did say that not all reels of identified. It takes the heart of this resistance. So what I think we can do to encourage FDI, both in Nigeria and more particularly in our state, Edo State, kind of benefit that derive from foreign direct investments. And the business environment, we must improve our skill sets. And talking about skill sets, we now talk about lawyers specifically, because this is an audience of lawyers. Apart from manpower development, we should ensure that we improve our skill set. We should be prepared to take advantage when all these policies being introduced, coming there, foreign lawyers. How can state lawyers take benefit from this? But that's the few minutes in the summary of it. I don't know what for that majority. Maybe we'll start with you and then come to
that Edoma. We decided to clad ourselves in our traditional apparel. So I left the house where the session was taken on, so there was no opportunity to change into one of those my old suits that I used to appear in course with. I have to come the way I am. And that said, I have listened to the very engaging paper presented by the one that is most suited to present a paper like this because of his pedigree, because of his learning and inclination in the area of attracting wealth, both in the public sector and the private sector. He has dealt with it so eloquently, except for me to look at it from the point of view of increasing the palm oil sector is not only set in policy, but is in Nigeria. Remember, the resource person that came to treat, the maximum the God can give me is 100 naira. So investments by that very art of poor businesses. So as chairman of the commission then, I became better interested, and we did so much work, and that law was taken to the House of Assembly and was subsequently passed before our time as the 8th Assembly. We expect that such that has positive impact in this operate in this area. Except for me to also mention that is that investment is protected, investment is attracted, and investment is secure, is pursued with vigor. Thank you so much.
I don't think everybody will notice you for the way you are tired. In fact, we looked at that was where do I get it from? So I think your panel, as far as I'm concerned. So, it's not going to be on the same way. Indeed. Okay, thank you. I hope not to ask you to note of that. What struck me on the discussion of the fact that we are now talking about private members' bills. Don't wait for the executive to always want to introduce bills. I think that's exactly what it is. Because you don't, it's not all the executive does not claim to have portfolio knowledge. A lot of time your expertise, your training, your experiences give you insights, and your constituents also give you insights which private member bills will entail. But there's a danger there. The private member may introduce a bill and if they decide to pass it but does not align with the framework being given by the government and the direction it may be going. So that may be cut out. It's part of what he identified in his own paper and one of the things he should try for the government also
in his ambition to become governor of Edo State. I believe that if any further evidence was required of his capacity to deliver in that role, I believe we should also look at another imagery, and it will walk away. And it will walk away. It will in fact run. Massive voting with defeat by foreign direct investment, or people walking away from an economy that is not being properly, consistently, and responsibly managed. Now, the speaker were seeing it happen. Therefore, the sub-nationals now have a decision to make. Are you going to sit back, resign to fate, and allow the irresponsibility of some people sitting in Abuja to affect and destroy the hopes and aspirations of Ministry of Justice? Very, very groundbreaking. Is the largest law chambers in Edo State. Please don't crucify me for this. We do not have the local capacity to handle the appearance fee. And we are not dealing with those areas that have made people like Dr. Aswa Ighodalo billionaires today. What do we as lawyers want to do? We must simplify our dispute. All our agreements had arbitration clauses. And most, where is the seat of arbitration? Is either in Lagos, or you have to prove to the world that our legal system works. That one is a collaborative venture. Nobody goes through the resolution process. There's money to be made in going to court and collecting appearance fees.
Templars, there's several of those people that their company back is not keen into this world of opportunities that's coming up. What can we do? It's called local content, and that we're all previous to the fact that the minister of angle to it. If we don't have an efficient, effective, and prompt, what they call a summary of his judgment, not written now. As I was saying, it was judgment, and all the parties you want it written down in hard copy. His clerk will have it out the next one. That hearing was completed by Tuesday. He had another hearing. What I'm trying to say is that anybody who wants to come and invest in the country who want some. All my lords have been patient.
The sources of dollars, of bricks. And so those traditional partners, and I don't know the extent to which.